Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Good Morning. I'm a little sick this morning. I'm going to hide behind the avatar. Good morning, Joe. How are you doing today?
What's going on, kid? Just getting my coffee in.
Yeah, the grandbaby got me sick, man. I'm like ready to go back to bed as soon as we're done here today. Good. Let me see if I can. There we go. Good morning, Moonstar.
What happened to other kid?
Yeah, that's a good question. We were on the show with JB last night, and I said, "All right, see you in the morning." He's like, "All right," and I haven't seen him yet. So, not quite certain what's going on up there in upstate New York. Maybe they're having
Internet issues.
Yeah. So you're
There he is.
there you are. Hey, you know you're getting
Yeah, I'm fighting with the computer right now.
Hey, Joe, you know you're starting to get a following there in Raiders Twitter, right?
No.
Yeah, because every day when I do the show, like I'll like today I just did KC sucks, but some days I'll say like when I post in there like KC sucks, Joe's right nut and stuff like that. Like that's literally what I'm posting. So you're getting a little following in Raiders Twitter.
Is it Joe that's getting the following, or is it Joe's nut that's getting a following?
There's only one way to find out. You gotta create a Joe's Nut Twitter profile. Joe's left nut Twitter profile, dude. And then link it up to Raider Twitter.
I tell you what.
Hey.
Oh, we got 2 bearded Packer fans. Now we got 1 bearded Packer fan.
Hey, the computer finally decided to work after 15 fucking minutes.
Well, you know. Welcoming a new audience today. We are now in Saints Twitter. I just added them this morning. Waiting on the Commanders, though. The Commanders Twitter isn't in yet. I guess they're afraid. I don't know.
They can't be more afraid than the Saints. I mean,
hey, well, they're small. They're small.
The
They're
Commander,
small. 1,000 people.
The Commander fans know week 2 is coming, so they don't want to get involved yet.
Yeah, I suppose.
But the Saints know every week is coming.
So, Ken, a little more context on that comment from last night from X, the Packer comment. So he was making a comment because he has a beard, and his buddy posted, "Yeah, I've got a beard too, so you're not that unique." There are a lot of bearded Packer fans.
Yeah, but they don't got one as fucking righteous as this one.
Oh, Jesus.
And they don't have their own show, so shut the fuck up.
Hey, I like exactly what Joe said.
Actually, the guy who did the post he writes for CBS Sports, so that and he retweeted the show.
Hey, awesome.
Hence the big numbers last night.
We appreciate your support, sir.
Good 180, Joe. Good 180.
Wow, yeah, Joe's. Hey, for those who don't know, Joe is going to be running for office pretty soon in California, and he's just practicing his political moves of, what he just did there.
I don't know, Joe. Are you corrupt enough to run for office in California?
I can learn. But I don't want to learn from Newsom, though.
Well, I mean, come on, you don't get too much more corrupt than that. But
Yeah.
enough of the politics.
Oh my goodness. So
Yeah, Kansas City sucks my left nut. Speaking of which, we should get Frog Boy on the show. You know, we should like hit Patrick Mahomes' Twitter and tell him.
Oh, cheap frog throat.
Yeah, we should tell him Kansas City sucks Joe's left nut.
oh my goodness. Yeah, you know, it's
Good luck this season, Kermit.
woo, I tell you.
May the best.
So hey, at least one. Well, it seems a lot of the quarterback battles are ending. Here, obviously, we had named starters in Cleveland and Indianapolis. Kermit the Mahomes. There you go. And good morning, Cam. And then, of course, you guys can't see me doing the dance because I'm hiding behind the avatar this morning. But we got Secret Agent Man signed to a 2-year extension worth $10 million initially, up to $16 million with incentives. So it looks like that quarterback battle for backup in Chicago is over.
See, I thought you wanted to get your starter locked down.
And on another note, Tyson Bagent can finally afford to buy a house in Chicago.
But it's only a double wide.
Yeah, no lie, man. Housing in Chicago is expensive. Too expensive. So some good news there for Bears fans, at least. I don't know. I mean,
see, Dorn, we're on the same wavelength, buddy.
Well, look, just because you guys don't have good taste and stuff, I can't do anything.
I wouldn't be a Bear fan talking about good taste.
Come on, Dorn, where is it?
I mean, you're Packer fans. Come on, you think cheese curds are like a meal?
Hey, Dorn, what kind of bust is Caleb Williams? Oh, Rob's on the show.
No, Rob's on the sport. That's all he can do is talk a little bit of trash about like that. Like whatever, dude.
What's going on, Rob?
He'll be crying at the end of the year, so that's okay. There we go. Here it is.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. There we go, Dorn. All right. So other big news getting out of the trash talk business. We'll leave that for the afternoon show. So it looks like Micah Parsons is going absolutely nowhere. They're expecting him to play in Dallas week 1. I mean, look, he's under contract. I mean, it sounds very Jerry Jones-like. I mean, this is one thing I do like about Jones. He's like, dude, you're under contract. I'm not moving you. I'm not trading you. You're playing. And if you're not playing, you're not getting paid. So guess what? Suit up, and we'll figure this out.
Well, Micah Parsons has already said he's got no problem sitting out. He's got more than money.
Yeah, I mean, and I respect that for Parsons. So, I mean, I respect both of them for their stances, right? I mean, I can respect Parsons, like, dude, you need to pay me, you know, but I can respect ownership going, dude, you're under contract for another year. Fulfill your contract. Like, that's good faith there. Like, if you can't fulfill your contract, that's a non-good faith move. And they want good faith, and he wants good faith that they're going to pay him. I get both of their situations.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards Parsons in this situation, though, because Jerry had a chance to show good faith. Like, okay, so in my opinion, Parsons already demonstrated good faith last season when he was supposed to get paid. And he said, no, you know what? Go ahead and take care of CD, take care of Dak. Like, I'll wait. My turn will come.
I agree with you 100% on that, Joe. 100%
Yeah.
I agree.
Parsons already demonstrated good faith. And then Jerry turns around and is like, well, you know, he's dragging his feet on the contract. So to me, Jerry's not showing good faith. So, like, in this situation, like, I don't have any sympathy for ownership. And I actually feel like Parsons is in the right. And
And I've
You know,
said this. I've said that before, Joe. That he has shown. I was tending to feel more towards Parsons because of what he did and said in the last year. Like, hey, go take care of these other guys, but then take care of me. And in this situation, more so than some others, I'm more on Parsons. I am ownership. At the end of the day, dude, you're still under contract. Fulfill your contract. There's that piece of it too, right? I mean, now that piece gets mitigated hugely. Because I agree with everything you just said, Joe, and I think that mitigates that hugely. Like, dude, yeah, he's under contract, and he should honor that, but you should also honor what he did for you and showing you faith last year and say, hey, don't worry about me this year. Worry about these guys. Take care of me next year, and showing you that faith, and you need to do something with that. Instead, we've got this messy situation down there that I don't know how it resolves. I mean. Will Jerry find the money somewhere in the salary cap? Maybe. But, look at Green Bay just made one of the biggest overtures Green Bay's ever made to get a player, bigger than what they offered for Khalil Mack back in the day, and they were rebuffed. I mean, that would have been a nice haul for Jerry. It would have been a nice haul. And he said, no, I'm not going to. So, I mean, that situation more so than maybe Scary Terry situation, more so than maybe Trey Hendrickson is a little more interesting. I don't know. How do you see this playing out? Does he get a contract at some point?
I would say it's a little more volatile. Volatile would be a better word, I think.
He does get himself a new contract, but that new contract is with the Green Bay Packers.
So Ken sees him being a Packer. Look. Yeah. I don't see any possible way that Jerry's going to be able to get that contract under the salary cap with Dak, $60 million with CD. Like, I just don't see it. This leads to a bigger conversation though, because like in any other job, right? If you consistently outperform your wage, what you're getting paid, and you don't get a raise, you're free to go look for another job, right? Yep. But here, Parsons has consistently outperformed what they're paying him.
That's mostly true, Joe. I mean, okay, if you worked at, I don't know, Jay's Widget Company, and you did that, and you were under a contract, you were an hourly employee, or even a salaried employee, but not under a contract, you could. But like if you're a contractor, right, you couldn't do that because you probably have a non-compete or something like that. So I mean, it's not as easy as saying, well, you could just go get you could market yourself to get a job. In this case, you kind of have a non-compete clause built into the contract you signed, right? You can't go to another job. And Broski said the same thing. So it's basically like having a non-compete. If you're like, say, an attorney, lots of attorneys have non-competes. If they leave the firm, they can't practice in that area or something, for X amount of time. So it's a similar situation. It's like having a non-compete, and that happens a lot in the NFL. And what also happens a lot in the NFL, though, a guy signs a big contract and doesn't earn that, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, he's not earning that money. So, but you can make the argument, but he earned the money from before he signed the contract. So
but if they didn't live up to the contract and earn the money, you see them out on the street not too long after.
Oh yeah. The edge is the ownership on that for sure. But there are a lot of times where guys aren't earning the money, a la Jordan Love last year, well, I don't know. You could probably, I don't know if you can say that the kid up there in Detroit earned the money. He might have. I mean, they made it. Well, no, he didn't. They were one and done. You can look at him. You can look at both those guys. Did they earn their quarterback money last year? Probably not. But I mean, their teams are sticking with them because they think they're still good and they're going to earn the money. Like no one's suggesting that Jordan Love be cut because he wasn't worth the $55 million he got paid, or Jared Goff gets cut because he wasn't worth the $48 million, right? But last year, Jordan Love equals Andy Dalton, right? I mean, but no one's suggesting you cut them because you think the potential is there still for them to earn that money. So I guess that kind of plays on the NFL side. But this whole thing with Micah Parsons, it's God. complicated isn't the word. Messy isn't the word. Just, this should be like the real football players of Dallas. It should be a show at this point. I mean,
yeah. And see, here's the thing: is that it's kind of the NFL, and of course, the NFL is not unique in this, but they slant those contracts towards in their favor, like the ownership does. Like, so Micah, yeah, he's under contract for this year. You're correct, right? But if he decides that, after if he plays this season, if he decides to play this season under contract, next season, when his contract is up, he should be able to go and look for another job. But oh wait, because then they can franchise tag him and continue to make him play for that organization and still not pay him what he's actually worth.
And then the next year they can franchise tag him again.
Yeah, but the franchise tag is a pretty steep number. It's not exactly cheap, but yeah, then they can. And the franchise tag, the second one, is really expensive. Because it's like 125% at that point or something like that. But I mean, yeah, it's. Oh.
Yeah, this is something that the players should try to bring up at the CBA, the next collective bargaining agreement.
The franchise tag, I kind of look at. Well, it depends on how they tag them, right? If they tag them as exclusive, there's two different tags on the main one, right? One, like, no one can talk to them. The other one, you can trade for them and we can give up 2 first-rounders. So I think they may tag them that way, right? Because it has a lower bit of money, and then they can still trade them and get 2 first-rounders, which is basically what Green Bay just
I'll do that right now.
It's let. And see, that's the thing is, like, this is where it doesn't make sense for me, like, why Jerry didn't take that offer. Because even if you franchise tag him next year, you're only 2 first-round picks. Green Bay offers you 2 firsts, a second, and a fifth. Yeah. And really, I mean, if they're going to give you 2 firsts, a second, and a fifth, they're giving you a player too. Like, you might as well just say, hey, like, throw in a player and we got a deal.
And on top of that, he doesn't have to sign the franchise tag. If he doesn't sign the franchise tag, that creates issues. So
Jerry should have taken that deal and ran with it, dude.
Oh, don't worry. With the comments from Ed Policy that he's made, it sure makes it seem like that's not the only offer that he's going to be given. He seems to be in on this deal, and hopefully it works out.
Look, I mean, and not to change the subject on it, but this says a lot about where the Packers are at, that they're offering and what they're offering for Micah, because they don't do this often. It's not in their character. Like I said, the last time they offered anything remotely close was for Khalil Mack in 2018. And for that Khalil Mack offer, the last time he had a big offer like that, Ken, God, that had to be
like Reggie White, maybe?
Reggie White, yeah.
No, because he was a free agent.
He was a free agent. Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
So it was the last big trade they made like that where they offered up so much. I can't remember.
They didn't, but that's why it's great that there's a new CEO in the building.
So,
like they say, there's a new sheriff in town.
It says a lot, though, that they're changing because they realize to a certain degree that talent level wise, they are getting passed by other teams in the division. And they need
they think that this is going to be that thing they need to get over the hump in the playoffs.
I think all 4 teams in division could probably think that on some level, right? On some level, all 4 teams. Because you had Micah Parsons at any one of these teams, I mean, they're all going to be playoff talk, Super Bowl possibility talk teams, because the talent levels on the teams. So it's a big. It's a. John Hatton. Which trade? I don't even remember this trade.
Exactly, Broski. That's where I'm thinking that this is lining up.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it also they need an edge in the division, and that's the thing. If you look at the talent on all these rosters in the North, they're a little lacking in certain areas, and this definitely puts them back in that maybe front runner seat instead of in the pack. Is what I'm saying. And look, then that forces the Bears and the Lions and the Vikings to try to do something like maybe get Trey Hendrickson or maybe get Scary Terry or add another piece. So, I mean, it's an arms race in the North right now. It really is an arms race. So,
I do think that that's what the Packers are thinking is like they're pushing their chips into the middle, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well, I
they're
mean,
gonna go all in on a run, dude. Like because to say fuck your first round draft pick for the next 2 years is a bold move, dude.
I think both can be right here, though. I think like they can be pushing their chips in and say, well, this makes us a Super Bowl run, and B, this pushes our talent level above the rest of the division. Whereas right now it may not be. Both can be true in this case. It's not a one or the other. So I mean, and look at they take a wide receiver in the first round for the first time in 2 decades. You know, I mean, the North is good morning, Isaac. The North is crazy. So, you know, Micah Parsons, if they don't get, I would not be surprised if they don't get Micah Parsons, if they don't take a swing at Trey Hendrickson, who's going to be a lot cheaper. It's probably, I mean, obviously you want Micah over Trey because of the age thing and the longevity thing. But if Micah looks like it's going to be a no-go, I would not be surprised if back Trey Hendrickson too. I would not be surprised one bit.
I was going to say that very well could be a 1B if Jerry refuses to move on from Micah, which that's going to create a hell of a problem for him, kind of thinking like Le'Veon Bell and Steelers type of shit.
Oh, Phil, okay, the handle trade was back in the 1970s was the last time the Packers made a huge swing like that. Wow, okay.
I wouldn't doubt maybe 3 teams. I mean, other than the Vikings, I don't think their cap situation would allow it. Is on the phone for either Micah or Trey Hendrickson. I mean, like they're probably fielding calls for both of them and see if they, you know, will kick the tires somehow. But only problem with Packers is, I mean, I hear the deal, but you know, who knows if that's confirmed, if that's the deal that they're sending.
Yeah.
But Goot has kicked the tires for other free agents that became available or on the trade block. Well, he's offered low ball offers that teams probably won't accept. So that's why I'm kind of wary about a deal like that. You know what I mean? But if it's true, if it was 2 firsts included in that deal, I don't see why Jerry wouldn't entertain it. You know what I mean?
Well, I can see why Jerry. I can tell you why Jerry won't entertain it. You're an NFC team.
That just beat him in the playoffs.
Factors too much. I think it's more that Jerry's trying to play hardball.
Not only that, have you guys seen that new Netflix special where Jerry's crying and saying that's my worst playoff loss ever against the Packers?
I have that on the queue to watch. I just watched Chiefs Kingdom on ESPN/Disney Plus. That was actually pretty good. But I look at part of it though. Like if I'm Jerry Jones, I don't want to trade him within the conference where I have to see you maybe every year or at least once every 4 years at least once. I don't want to see you in the playoffs. I mean, if I'm Jerry, I'm going to trade the dude to an AFC team where I'm, you know, the only time I might see him is in an interleague play game, you know, cross league play or in the Super Bowl. I mean, you want to minimize how much you have to see the dude after you trade him away, especially as acrimonious as this is becoming, right? So like you want to get him as far away from you as possible. So like, yeah, well, the Colts, yeah, I'll send you there, and you can make all your money in in Indianapolis and not win anything. You know, I mean, if I'm Jerry, if I can get the same haul from Indianapolis, let's say that I could from Green Bay, I'm saying to Indianapolis, he's outside of the division too. I'm probably getting better draft picks.
Yeah, if it's the same haul, I get that. But if Packers are offering the most for Parsons, then you take that deal. You know what I mean? If we're offering 2 firsts and a possible second, what I'm hearing is the deal, and then you're putting Van Ness or another player in there. That's a great haul. You know what I mean, for a player that you don't want to pay.
I mean, I don't disagree with you at all, Isaac. But okay, let's flip the scenario a little bit. Let's say, you know, Micah Parsons was on, just for sake of argument, was on the Bears, and we're in that situation, and you offered the most. Do you think the Bears would trade you the guy even with that haul within the division?
I mean, not in the division, but he's not in our division. That's the thing.
But you're within the conference, and there's a lot of recent history between the 2 teams. I think that factors in to a degree.
Yeah, but the Cowboys think they did enough moves to, you know what I mean, put themselves in, you know what I mean? They're talking about Super Bowl over there. You know what I mean? Like, even though that's laughable, but they're talking about Super Bowl, yeah.
They do that.
But see, I think that's like you said it all right there. Like, I think that's Jerry's mindset. He believes that they're a contending team. So why is he going to send Micah Parsons to a team that he knows that he's going to have to play in the playoffs, most likely? So it's like, especially after the ass whooping that you guys put on him 2 years ago, right? Like, he's still smarting from that. If he's crying on a Netflix special, obviously that game is still in his mind, dude. So actually,
There's insiders
here. I think like he for Jerry, it makes no sense to trade him to you guys because Jerry really believes the Cowboys are a playoff team. Now we disagree, right?
I tell you what, if I'm Detroit, Chicago, and maybe even Minnesota, I'm calling up Cincinnati, where the asking price is a second rounder and a player for Trey Hendrickson, and I try to get into that deal and get that done before the Packers can get a deal done for Micah. Because then if the Micah deal falls through, well, you've set yourself up and you've denied Green Bay. You've done several things. You made your defense better, number one. And number two, you're denying Green Bay the opportunity at their plan B if they can't get Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I think Detroit has to hop in on maybe Trey Hendrickson because like they're in a contending team now. Their Super Bowl window is now, and it's like as soon as closing shut with all the contracts you have to shell out. So Trey Hendrickson makes a great deal of sense to make a deal now with, even though he's of his age, but he has 17 and a half sacks the last 2 seasons. You can't argue his production.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Detroit makes sense for him. Detroit makes sense because they not only have the need for him, right? But they have the money. They have like 40 mil sitting there. They have the money. Quezzy did free up some cap space with the trade they made with the Jets yesterday. So look at usually when we see a trade like this or something out of the Vikings, something else follows. I wonder if the Vikings don't already have something in play on Trey Hendrickson with the trade they made yesterday with the Jets, and that trade yesterday freed up cap space, a significant amount of cap space. So
they're going for a wide receiver though because Addison's out 4 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
we talked about that yesterday though. There's 1 or 2 ways they can approach it, right? If they feel like John Dorn does, that the Bears are nothing to worry about in week 1, they go into week 1 as they are, and then right after that game, they go sign a guy because they don't have to guarantee the contract.
Because like the reason being too is all the offseason moves that they made. I mean, they shored up everything from defensive to offensive, even their offensive line. The only thing that makes sense for them to do is get a wide receiver while Addison is out.
Yeah, he's only out 3 games though.
Yeah. Still, I mean, 3 games is, if you start like losing some kind of momentum in those games, it kind of affects the team on the record, especially how competitive the North is going to be this year,
Tell us how you really feel, Luka.
I think Luka hit his head this morning.
No, but you know what?
Below average O-line.
To a
Packers
fan, he is. But I mean, I'm not going to agree with everything he said. But dude, you have wide receiver issues with drops, 100%.
I was going to say I'll give you the drops, absolutely.
I mean, the pass rush, it is, it was non-existent last year. Average DBs, yep. I only counted injury-prone QB because last year was, it was it. He wasn't hurt. He really
the first time he was injured.
Yeah. So, but the elite coaching thing, I'd agree with that. Like you've got coaching that takes average players and makes them look really good. Because then when they go sign with other teams, they kind of disappear. We never hear from them again. As far as your O-line, I don't know if I'd call it average. I would still say it's a little above average, but it's not what it was 5 years ago, maybe, but it's still really good. It's probably better. It's probably better than the Vikings O-line.
Yeah, O-line's top 10. O-line's always been top 10. I mean, as long as we have Stenovich in our coaching ranks, our O-line's always going to be good.
Yep.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Mulatto Rocket.
Oh my gosh.
He's just mad that Andy Dalton left the Bears.
Broski's gonna have the thought police at his house here shortly, dude.
I mean, and John, to be honest with you, like this stuff, it's irrelevant for this season. Completely irrelevant. all of you were one and done in the playoffs last year. It's completely irrelevant for the upcoming year. Stop living in the past.
You know, though, Vikings have a little pressure, though, to win a playoff game. You know what I mean? Especially under Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell does great in the season and has not done anything in the postseason other than make the postseason and not win a playoff game. So he has to crack that mold this year, or else
There's a lot of really good questions in the NFC North that need to be answered, right? And if all these questions are answered in the positive for all four of these teams, this is going to be one hell of a freaking division to watch.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because we've got this division is loaded with a ton of talent, It just comes down to, like, you know, Chicago. Is Ben Johnson more than just a good OC? Is he a good head coach? And is that offensive line fix? In Minnesota, hey, rookie quarterback, but can KOC take him further? If you look at the Packers, okay, is Jordan Love really the guy? Right? And did they do enough with their wide receiving core? And if you look at Detroit, hey, coaching brain drain and offensive line had to be redone. Those are all legit questions for all four teams. And if they all get answered in the affirmative to some degree or another, man, it's going to be a fun season. And then you got to throw in the stuff like, you know, Packers are trying to pull for Micah Parsons. Trey Hendrickson's still out there and relatively attainable for all four teams, really. If any one of the four teams in the division wanted to make that trade, they could make it work. And then you've got Scary Terry out there, and you've got a team like the Vikings who, hey, you know, we're missing a guy for 3 weeks. Like, I don't think they would clear cap room to go get one of the guys who's still a free agent, who's not going to be that expensive, but maybe they're looking to make a Scary Terry trade. I wouldn't put that past Quezzy. Right? So, I mean,
God, could you imagine Scary Terry on the Vikings? Once Addison comes back and they got Jordan Addison, they got Jefferson, Addison, and Scary Terry.
That'd be crazy. And they still don't win a playoff game?
No, but you would have a team like, I think you would have a team with like 3,000-yard receivers for the first time in history, dude. Like,
you get
that's if JJ can actually throw the ball and not just hand it off.
yeah.
But I think you're in Tomlin territory then, right? Tomlin's got 9 years without a win. I mean, if KOC starts getting that territory, then you got a great coach who can get you there, but can't win when you get there. You get kind of the same situation somewhat in San Francisco, right? Can't win the Super Bowl. He can get you there, just can't win it. And look, with Green Bay with LaFleur, we don't know if that's ever. I don't know that you can't make that argument for him yet. He's got a mixed bag of playoff appearances, some wins, some losses. They haven't been to the big game with him yet, and you can say the same thing in Detroit with their head coach. Can't get him to the Super Bowl, right? Last year, got him the best record and completely choked out in the playoffs. So all these are legit issues. But the funny thing is, I honestly didn't think the Packers were going to make such a strong move to get Micah Parsons. Like, I thought if anything, they would make a move on Trey Hendrickson because the second-round draft pick isn't too steep, and they have the money, and they could do something like that. And that would not have been completely out of character for what we know of the modern-day Packers. And then yesterday, that report comes out about the move they tried to make and how aggressively they're pursuing Micah. And I was like, well.
What a splash Ed Policy would make if he can land Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? Your first venture as basically Packers CEO, the new CEO, is you get Micah Parsons on the team. That is monumental. They'll probably put a statue outside just for that move alone.
If you guys win a Super Bowl, they will for sure. Hey, so last night I read somewhere that according to one of the Raiders beat reporters, that actually the Raiders are in on Trey Hendrickson and are like considered to be kind of the front runners to get Trey Hendrickson. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but one of the Raiders beat writers is actually writing that. So
it makes sense though, because like Mac put him with Mac, and they've got cap, and they can afford to give up a second rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Joe, hold on. Let's both of us turn off our PlayStations.
I was going to say, I thought the Vikings already acquired a couple new wide receivers. You guys didn't see those two Fairy Boy male cheerleaders?
No. Yeah, I mean, look at Micah Parsons makes even more sense for the Raiders than he does the Packers in terms of a trading partner for Dallas outside of the division, outside of the conference. The Raiders have the maneuver room to sign him long term to that deal, pair him with Max Crosby, and give them a hell of a phenomenal defense. But like Joe said yesterday, Geno Smith isn't the guy of the future, and then they don't have a draft pick the next 2 years to maybe get that guy while Geno's under contract. So that makes sense. Oh, good morning, Ralph. And hey, for those, Ralph will be joining us tomorrow morning.
What's up, buddy?
Good morning, Ralph. It's the Raiders are an interesting scenario we haven't talked about enough as far as Trey Hendrickson or Micah. I think Jerry would prefer him to go to the Raiders or to an AFC team, for sure. But if the Packers keep upping the asking price, upping the offer, I should say, at some point you'd have to go, Jerry, you just have to do it. Like, if it becomes 2 first-rounders, a 2nd-rounder, and Van Ness, and maybe something else, you're like, come on, Jerry. That's too much to pass up. It's just,
they're already almost there. I mean, they offered 2 firsts, a 2nd, and a 5th. If they were to offer 2 firsts, a 2nd, a 5th, and Van Ness, I mean, at that point, it's like.
Look, at my bingo card for preseason to not have the Packers offering a massive, huge haul to anyone for a play. This was definitely not anyone's bingo card coming into the season. I don't think anyone would have said the Packers are going to make this monumental offer for Micah Parsons.
And I didn't figure Ed Policy would come right out and try doing something like this right away. I figured maybe if he's going to do something, it'll be next year, something like that. Just use this year to kind of get his feet under him. It don't seem like he's trying that shit at all. He's diving in head first.
Yeah. How often does a once-in-a-generation player becomes possibly available like this? So you have to make a splash move to try to get something like that. You know what I mean?
And see, this is why I think that the Trey Hendrickson to the Raiders thing actually makes a lot more sense, because the Raiders aren't looking to give up their firsts for the next couple of years because they need to take a quarterback, but they can get Trey Hendrickson for a 2nd and something else, and they have the money to sign him to a contract, which, since he's looking for something in the neighborhood of 3 years, right, 3 or 4 years, and with some guaranteed money, the Raiders could do that. And he's still only 30. I mean, like, I know 30 is sort of that threshold at the NFL level, but I don't see any reason why he couldn't continue to be productive for 3 years.
Jerry could do it's Jerry's world in that trade, and it would still be a non-starter.
I'm reading Luca's idea here. I know he's joking, but okay, Love for Dak, and then you get and then LaFleur Parsons plus 3 firsts. I mean. Yeah.
Sorry, you maybe like throw up when you said Dak.
Wait. When he said Dak, I thought I would have been like, no. The second he put LaFleur in there, because Dak,
LaFleur too.
You can probably deal with a little bit as long as LaFleur is still there. But taking LaFleur out of Green Bay, now I can't, because I think LaFleur can make Dak look good. I think he can make Dak look like he's worth the $60 million, actually. But
by handing it off to Jacobs.
Pretty much.
I was going to say kind of to what Isaac said earlier. It's like, you look at the Lions, they have all this cap space. They have all these young, talented players they're going to have to sign. Why not trade a draft pick or 2 and one of these young players for Hendrickson and see if that doesn't put you over the top? I'm just amazed how cowardly the Lions are, how chicken shit Brad Holmes is.
Hey, you know why he hasn't made the move? Parsons is not hurt or injured. That's the move.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the moves that Holmes goes for, the injured players. Or
if it comes out that Hendrickson pulled his hammy or something, or is going to require surgery, he'll trade for him.
Yeah, Holmes I'll get him.
I tell you what, though, within the division, within the NFC North, though, with this news of the Packers pushing as hard as they are for Micah, I guarantee you the other 3 GMs are now looking at what they could maybe do to outdo Green Bay for that, or at what can we do to get Trey? because it's an arms race. It is an arms race, no doubt about it. So I mean, they're all looking. They're all looking.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think every team is looking now that Parsons could be possibly. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any team that's like, no, I won't offer anything for it. You know what I mean? Like if you can get a player like Parsons on your team, you go for it.
Here's
You
a
know what I mean?
question though. Like, okay, so we heard about the straight offer, and then we've heard the Cowboys say, no, you know what? We're not going to trade him. Stop sending offers. He's going to be playing for us. And then you've got, well, I don't mind sitting. I've got enough money, right? Okay. Which one of these arguments do you think actually ends up being what happens?
If Parsons is serious about not playing, you almost are forced to trade him.
Are you?
I was going
If
to
he
say,
doesn't get a good year, if he doesn't get a good year, if he doesn't come back by week 9, he's still under contract for the following year. So at some point he has to come back and play. And
he
then,
has to come back. He has to come back and be on the team. It doesn't say you got to play.
well, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have to play, but if he's back, they're going to play him. You can't come back and say, "Well, I'm back, but I'm not going to play." Because
I was going to say, if you want to be a real asshole, you could just stand there on the field. Okay.
Well,
yeah, but
can
that
I
hurts.
throw something out here?
What now?
Can I throw out a bit of an analogy? It's like, let's say, you have a wife and you guys were in love and stuff, and one day she tells you, I'm not in love no more. Like, I want a divorce. Like, are you going to chain her up in the basement? Like, you know what I mean?
That's
It's
going
like-
back.
I don't know. My basement is pretty big.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking to normal people who don't have a torture room in their basement, but
okay.
What is
Or
this?
broken
50,
pipes.
50 Shades of Joe? This is 50 Shades of Joe?
no. My point is, like, the marriage is over. It's like Micah's never gonna love the Cowboys again because of how they
I
did it.
wouldn't say that because we've seen that before. I hate the team. Now they get paid. Oh, I love the team. Money cures all. But I mean, look at for the scenario playing out. The Cowboys really hold all the cards here. They hold all the cards.
Yeah.
If Micah sits out, okay, fine. Let's say he doesn't acquire a good year. Guess what? He's still under contract for next year. Let's say he sits out for a little bit and then comes back and gets a good year. Great. Now I'm going to franchise tag you. I still own your rights for the next year, possibly 2, because I can franchise tag you again. If you don't sign the franchise tag and sit out, guess what? I still own you on the original franchise tag. So at the end of the day,
Yeah, he could just be taking the Myles Garrett approach here.
I got a name I'll throw out there that might affect Micah Parsons. Le'Veon Bell. He did the same thing. His career was basically on the downslide after he did all this. And now he's going on podcasts saying he regrets everything that he did. He shouldn't have done that. If Micah Parsons goes down this road, it might be the same road.
And Cam, this is the last year of his rookie deal. This is the team option, 5th year. This is the 5th year option year. So he's getting a decent paycheck. But if he doesn't get a good year this year, if he sits out too much, guess what? He's under the 5th year option next year again. And if he does come in, then they can franchise tag him. So really, they hold the cards. Now, as far as making a trade, if you're Jerry, I don't know. I think Jerry's still butthurt over the ass whooping Green Bay gave him in the last playoff game. And honestly, I don't think he wants to trade him there. I don't think he wants to even trade him in the NFC. He's going to trade Micah Parsons. He wants to send him somewhere that he never has to see Micah in a game unless maybe once every 4 or 8 years he might run into him, in a cross-conference game. He wants to send to a place like Indianapolis or somewhere where he can hopefully he can get paid, and so he's happy. But Jerry doesn't have to see him in the Super Bowl or something.
I got it. I got it. I know how Jerry could like take care of the whole thing and really stick it to the Packers, right? If he was to trade Micah to the Raiders for 1 first-round pick and a second-round pick, like that would be the biggest fuck you to the Packers. Like, fuck your 2 first-round picks. I'll take 1 from the Raiders.
I don't like it, Joe.
Yeah, no.
I didn't think you would, but we're talking about Jerry Jones here. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't think it's gonna happen.
He'd probably do it for a first round, a second round, and Bowers.
That's
Yep.
But no, I mean, look, I mean, I don't know. I just find the very fact that we're talking about Green Bay trying to make this big trade is just like I said, that was not on my bingo card. I don't think any of us thought Green Bay would be swinging for the fences like this with the trade proposal. I don't think any of us had this in the bingo card. Trey Hendrickson now becomes a lot more attainable option with a second rounder and maybe a young player. The only thing you got to figure out is the money. And really, the two teams that probably are worse off in that category as far as figuring out the money would be Chicago and Minnesota. But if they really wanted to do it, they figure out a way to do it. I mean, Green Bay could obviously do it. They just swung for Micah. The money's maybe a little less, maybe about the same. And we know Detroit's sitting on money. And Kwesi just made some cap space. So this is really, I mean, here's the thing with these guys at edge, you don't need them in camp much, right? Edge guys can kind of just show up and what's your job? Go after the quarterback. Okay. They can learn the scheme. Then okay, Joe?
I think he just died a little.
I know. Edge rushers, the playbook
fainted.
for them.
No, actually.
You mentioned trading Bowers, and Joe passes out.
He's all.
He's getting that Hall of Fame bust already, and he passed out. I'm not trading my Hall of Famer.
Is the sky falling, Joe?
But
Sort of.
Shifting over to Scary Terry, though, because we spent a lot of time on Micah Parsons. What about Scary Terry and Ryan? Right, so the Commanders are looking to trade one of the running back and the Scary Terry issue. Now, could it be that they're looking to trade the running back to free up the money for Scary Terry, or to justify the money for Scary Terry, or they just those are two other guys that could be on the move from Washington that could be pretty impactful. I mean, look, I bet Luka would be creaming his pants right now if they trade for Scary Terry in Minnesota. Tell me that doesn't put them over the top, even with a rookie quarterback.
Luka will be happy with Case Keenum.
So
He'll be available on Tuesday.
what actually happened is I'm sitting in my backyard and I have this giant walnut tree behind me, and there's a squirrel that's up there eating the walnuts, but they have that like thick shell on them, and he literally just dropped a fucking walnut on my head, and it smacked me in the head, and then like hit my phone, and that shit hurt too. It was like it was kind of heavy, dude.
Yeah.
Joe's out here getting attacked by fucking squirrels and shit.
Dude, I'm about to put some fucking rodent poison out here in a little bit. Like, son of a bitch.
That's it, Joe. Climb up in that tree and put that squirrel in a triangle.
That squirrel is sick of hearing about Bowers.
Ankle lock.
He must be a Niner fan.
He's all bang bang.
Bang bang squirrel gain, motherfucker.
The Minnesota Vikings have $31.2 million in cap space right now. A little bit more than I thought they did. They've got cap space. They can make a move too, man.
No, so there we go. Then all four teams can possibly make a move, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't doubt.
No,
I doubt
I'm
any of
looking
us
at
get
that,
any of these players, though. I doubt it. You know what I mean? Until it happens, I doubt it. You know what I mean?
Isaac, don't you put away my tinfoil. I'm
the Bears
hoping as much as possible.
You know how many times, dude, I hear.
The Bears have. Hold on. The Bears have 13 million in cap space, Isaac. So they're the least likely of the three. The Bears have 13 mil. The Vikings obviously have 30. The Lions have 40, and the Packers, which we know that it doesn't really matter because they're willing to take the spot, but they have 31 mil. So like, really, all three of the four teams have at least 30 mil in cap space and can make the move. The Bears would have to restructure, move stuff. But
Yeah,
could you
but
imagine?
you know, the cap space is a myth, though. You know what I mean? Like it can be manipulated so much. You know, pushing contracts down in the future, and then people saying, "Oh no, you're pushing contracts down in the future." Well, guess what? The cap space raises up almost every year, and these TV deals just hit. You know, look at what it costs to be an NFL fan now, dude. You got to pay like almost $1,000 to see all your games because one's
More
streaming
than
in
that.
Prime.
It
Yeah,
costs you
You don't
$1,000
sell the
for 2
7
tickets
fees.
for one game.
yeah.
Like
Dude,
like Woody's going to the Week 3 Bears Cowboys. It was $1,000 for 2 tickets.
yeah, but not only that, the streaming services. Like if you're watching from home, like and one's playing on Amazon Prime, one's playing on the NFL New Red Zone Network, one's playing on this. It's expensive being an NFL fan, unless like you're pirating, you know,
I
streaming
want to
sites.
go back up to Luca's comment here. We forget about Tyreek Hill could possibly be on the block too. Tyreek
Good.
Hill could be a possibility.
Yeah,
Well, that's been a
what's
hot
going
rumor.
on with-
Tyreek Hill to the Vikings.
oh,
Luke,
That's
Bro,
right.
Tyreek and Jefferson together.
I haven't
Yeah.
really seen, but I haven't seen any rumors on it per se. But God, I mean, look, you add any good wide receiver like that, like Scary Terry or Tyreek to that team. I don't care that they got a first-year quarterback starting, not a rookie technically, right?
I can see a Stephon Diggs situation though. Like someone's going to be unhappy. Like if you put those two on the team, Tyreek Hill already is like a little head case, and Jefferson was a little bit of a diva. So you know what I mean. Like the two of those, you know, something's going to give over there.
Hey, maybe we can see a knife fight in Minnesota.
But honestly, I mean, you put Tyreek on that team, to me that makes them Super Bowl contenders, dude, for
Oh,
sure.
100%.
As long as JJ's competent throwing that football.
And they'll watch. None of this will happen. Everyone will stand pat where they're at. No,
You know how pissed I'm going to be of yet again. Oh, well, we kicked the tires. We were in on it. Well, you didn't get it done.
but well, yeah, but part of that though isn't on your leadership. That's on Jerry Jones saying I'm not going to trade him, right? And with Trey Hendrickson, it's a situation. It might not be a situation where you can't get it done, where they just come to terms with. Because remember, in the Trey Hendrickson deal, they already agreed on the length and the money. What the holdup is the guarantee. So maybe they come to an agreement over the next week. Now he's off the board. And Micah Parsons doesn't get traded because Jerry just refuses to trade him. You can't control that. You know, and Scary Terry, I haven't heard much on his situation, right? But, you know, maybe they keep him in house. And we've seen all this kind of stuff play out. Fans get all hyped. Oh, we're going to make this trade. This guy's really unhappy. And the guy stays there, gets his contract, and is happy. And 3 weeks later, it's like it never happened.
See, all this sounds like is Ed Policy needs to put a horse head in Jerry Jones's bed.
I was just going to say that, man. You have to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Swap Jordan Love for Dak Prescott in the deal.
Hey, give him the Luca Brasi treatment. Like either your signature or your brains are going to be on this contract,
Yup.
dude. The Scary Terry thing is interesting to me though, because like we know, like they put it out there that Trey Hendrickson is up for trade. They've put it out there like Jerry is adamant that he's not trading Micah Parsons, but there's offers on the table, right? But we haven't heard really any of that with Terry. Like they haven't. The Commanders have been quiet. Terry's been quiet.
Supposedly they offered the Steelers Scary Terry for Freiermuth and a second-round pick, and the Steelers pretty much laughed them off the phone.
And also, though, I think part of that is the smokescreen of them trying to trade Brian Robinson Jr. I think that's kind of a little bit of a smokescreen in a way because it's diverting. Oh, and they're trying to trade him, and so there's so many teams that need a running back, so it's a diversion from Scary Terry.
I don't think the Steelers are in a position to be laughing at anybody.
I think the Steelers will kill. I mean, Steelers fans will kill everybody if they trade Freiermuth. Freiermuth, they love Freiermuth over there.
Freiermuth is good, dude, but like I'll give you an example. So right now the Raiders have Bowers, but right behind Bowers they have Michael Mayer, who they just drafted a couple years ago, and he's basically like he's going to be the second guy there, and he's like people, because Bowers was so good, people kind of forget that Mayer was the best pass catching tight end in his draft class too. Like,
So
I think if the Steelers were to take that deal with the Commanders, right, you trade Freiermuth, you could just go to the Raiders and you could get Mayer for like, who knows,
So
a fourth and fifth round pick.
Well,
Like
the
you could
Steelers already traded for that tight end from Miami. What's his
Yeah.
face? So they already have like 2 really good tight ends.
but I mean, look at let me pose this question, because I know how much Broski wants to get rid of Cole Kmet. Would you trade Cole Kmet in a second for Scary Terry?
For Scary Terry, no. For Hendrickson, yes.
Okay. Knowing that Ben Johnson wants to run a 2 tight end set, though, that's the other thing in there. Hey, good morning, Vogel.
People forget too. Steelers have a monster in a tight end too in Washington. Like he's been killing it in camp. That guy's huge.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want to trade Cole Kmet, but I'm just saying I think there's a really good chance he's pretty much not going to be on the team next year. I think he's a hell of a player, and he's one of my favorite players on the Bears. But for Hendrickson, I would do it. For Terry, no.
Okay.
I don't think Bears are going to do it, because if you look at that preseason game, I know it's not like saying anything, but that preseason game, they love 2 tight end sets.
Oh, yeah.
there.
Well, they love 2 tight end sets. I think they love the wide receiver room they've got right now, because right now Luther Burden III is probably 4th on the depth chart, which is ridiculous to think, because what's his name? It's been stepping up. He's got a weird name. We signed what now?
Zacchaeus.
Yeah, Zacchaeus.
Yeah,
Zacchaeus has been ripping it apart. So he's like 3rd on the depth chart right now. And Luther Burden III, who was your fully guaranteed contract 2nd round pick, is now looking like he's 4th on the depth chart. So I think the Bears are less likely to make a Scary Terry trade. But I could see the Vikings do it. I could see the Lions. I could definitely see them do it. Because now you don't have to worry, is J-Mo the guy? You've got Scary Terry. J-Mo doesn't have to prove he's worth the contract. And the Packers, hello. Yeah, you could use them. So, I mean, it's surprising. I haven't seen him linked to more teams in the North.
Yeah,
it really wouldn't make sense for the Bears to try to trade for Terry.
No, it wouldn't. Not given the current room, but it makes sense for Minnesota given Addison's out. It makes sense for Green Bay considering their best wide receiver is their rookie 1st-round pick, right? Because everyone else seems to have concrete for hands with the dropsies. It makes sense for Detroit after Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's like, well, J-Mo, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Last year he was okay, but he had a couple nice catches, but most of his big plays were trick end-around plays. Scary Terry solidifies that receiving core for sure in Detroit. So for the other 3 teams, it definitely makes some sense.
Yeah, like I said, I think teams are still kicking the tires. It's just we're not hearing about it in the media. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we probably see about 30% of what actually really happens with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that, Isaac, no doubt. And the money, but the money situation is not an issue for. And the other thing too, Broski, for the Bears, they have to move money around. The Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings do not. That's the other reason why I think they're more of a likely target than, say, Chicago. Chicago's a hard target for anything because financially, with the plan that Foles has in place to re-sign guys, the fact you have no safeties under contract post this season, and where they have the cap, it makes anything harder. The other 3 teams have a little bit more mobility in terms of signing a guy or trading for a guy. But that's something we're going to have to keep track on for tomorrow, guys, because we're about out of time. Great discussion today on this. And we'll see. Maybe something happens today, tomorrow, or tonight. We've got preseason games. Tomorrow we got preseason games. The last week of preseason, next Tuesday at 3:59 p.m., all 32 teams will be submitting their cut list to the NFL. And we're going to have a huge party watching who's been cut, who's being signed, and everything else. Maybe something will happen by then with these big guys who want contracts who aren't signed. We don't know. But everyone have a Thursday. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.
Watch out for that squirrel.
Yeah, no doubt.